everyone, so let's move towards our today's topic, which is,
first of all, what is diencephalon? Diencephalon is the middle part of the brain which is placed in the cerebrum, and it is found in the cerebrum, and it consists of four parts: thalamus, hypothalamus, epithalamus and subthalamus. In this video we will gonna talk about thalamus, epithalamus and subthalamus, and in the next video inshallah we will talk about hypothalamus. First of all, what is thalamus? Thalamus is present on each side of the third ventricle. As you know, the lateral ventricle is connected with third ventricle. Okay, the third ventricle on each side, we have already studied in the third ventricle video that on the each side of the third ventricle there is a mass of the gray matter that is known as thalamus, which is oval in shape. So remember this point. Okay, thalamus is oval in shape, and if we take an example of egg is also oval. So oval shape means that anterior end is narrow and the posterior end is expanded. Okay, so same like that, thalamus consists of two ends, anterior end and posterior end. Anterior end is narrow, posterior end is expanded. Posterior end is also known as pulvinar, and yes, it is also known as pulvinar. Now, thalamus consists of four surfaces: superior surface, inferior surface, medial surface and lateral surface. Medially, as you all know that third ventricle will be present, and on lateral side, internal capsule will be present. Superior surface is covered by tela choroidea, and inferior surface consists of hypothalamus. So the whole thalamus, below the thalamus, hypothalamus is present on inferior side as well as in front, and behind the thalamus, epithalamus and subthalamus are present. Okay. Now, what are the thalamic nuclei? What is nuclei? As we all know that nuclei are the collection of the cell body, and nuclei are present in the gray matter. Before moving towards that thing, first you have to remember that the anterior surface or the white matter of the thalamus is covered by external medullary lamina. Okay, and the internal medullary lamina is present between the thalamus. How? Basically, the thalami nuclei are separated by some lamina, and that lamina is known as internal medullary laminae. Internal medullary laminae divides the whole thalamus into three parts: anterior part, medial part and lateral part. It makes basically, it looks like a Y-shaped structure on the surface of the thalamus. If we see the thalamus, if we see a Y-shaped structure, that is formed by internal medullary lamina, which is dividing the thalamus into two parts: anterior part, medial part and the lateral part. In these parts, in these areas, nuclei are present. The easiest one is the anterior part. The anterior part consists of anterior nucleus. And another easiest thing is that the medial part consists of medial nucleus. Okay. Now, the most important, and I can also say that it is a complicated thing, that lateral part consists of two groups: dorsal part, that is below, it is inferior, it is on the inferior side, and on the superior side, ventral group is present. Okay. On the dorsal group, three nuclei are present: lateral dorsal group, lateral posterior group and pulvinar, lateral dorsal nuclei, lateral posterior nuclei, and the third one is pulvinar nuclei. Okay, how to remember this? The mnemonic is, as you know that it is present in dorsal group, so obviously lateral dorsal nuclei, it is easy to remember. Then the second one is lateral posterior nuclei. As you know, the dorsal is, in my language, in my shortcut, as I have already told you, the dorsal means posterior and पीछे या दूर. ठीक है, तो posterior, lateral posterior nuclei, it is in the dorsal group. And pulvinar nuclei, as you know, pulvinar is also known as posterior end. So posterior, pulvinar, P मिलते जुलते हैं, तो ये dorsal group में आएंगे. Okay, ये हो गया. Now further, ventral group consists of three groups: anterior group, middle group and posterior group. Anterior group consists of lateral dorsal nuclei, ventral anterior nuclei. Okay, ventral group consists of three groups: anterior group, middle group, and posterior group. Anterior group consists of ventral anterior nuclei. These nuclei, what is the function of the nuclei? Nuclei are present in the pathway of the track. Okay, from the thalamus, as you know, from the thalamus, all the tracks, all the impulses except olfaction are going towards the cerebral cortex. Okay, so how they enter to how they reach the cerebral cortex, they are forming a track. And as we have already talked about ascending track and descending track, so these are the track, and these track on their junction they are forming nuclei. Okay, now we were talking about ventral group. Middle group consists of ventral lateral group, not middle group. Ventral group consists of three groups: anterior group, lateral group, and posterior group. So the lateral group consists of ventral lateral nucleus. Okay, it is receiving from cerebellum and red nucleus. This is important, so that's why I am telling you that ventral lateral nucleus is receiving the fibers from cerebellum and red nucleus. Now ventral posterior group. So posterior group consists of further two subdivisions, that is postolateral group and postomedial group. Postolateral group consists of spinal lemniscus and medial lemniscus, and ventral postomedial group consists of trigeminal tract. Okay, remember this point, most important point. Okay, this was the most important point. And these nuclei, you have to remember the name of the nuclei, because it is something which is very important. Now moving more further, subthalamus is present below the thalamus, and epithalamus is basically forming the roof of the diencephalon. There are two other nuclei which are also present in the thalamus. We have to discuss that first, because that are another most important topic, that is medial geniculate nuclei and lateral geniculate nuclei. The medial geniculate nuclei is consists of auditory fibers, listening fibers. Okay, and the lateral geniculate body consists of optic tract, that is vision, for vision. Okay, so remember these nuclei as well. Now subthalamus and epithalamus. Epithalamus consists of it is forming the roof of the diencephalon, and majorly the major area of the epithalamus consists of pineal body or pineal gland. बहुत अरसे तक तो यही समझा गया कि pineal body is not much important, और ये जो है ना एक useless thing है हमारी body में, but no, it has major function. And recently it was discovered that it was investigated that pineal body is an endocrine gland which is releasing a hormone known as melanin. Okay, melanotonin. Basically, melanin is dealing with the skin color. Your skin color deals with an hormone known as melanin, which is secreted by pineal body, and pineal body is endocrine gland, and it is small and conical in shape, and it is present in epithalamus. So this was the whole topic, which is very much important. Till then, good luck and thank you so much. Bye.